Hey guys, it's Nostal-Gi-Oh here, back with another deck profile. Today we're going to be talking about Chaos Warrior in GOAT format, and I do actually have a side deck prepared today as well, so that'll be interesting. There's no extra deck because the deck doesn't access the extra deck, but if you wanted to play them, just play the generic extra deck for GOAT, all of the basic guys, whatever. But anyway, into the actual deck profile, Chaos Warrior. Chaos Engine is just there for late game high impact cards, but the Warrior toolbox anti-meta stuff is the bread and butter of the deck. So into the Warriors. So into the Warriors, we have 3 Blade Knight. So this is the main monster of the deck. It's a light. It's good. It's 2k. It gets through. Well, it's 16, but it goes to 2k if you have a small hand. And we play a lot of back row and traps, or traps and spells. So we can have a pretty small hand a lot of the time. It's a searchable light, which is pretty relevant, and it also gets through flip effect monsters, which is good for things like Moths, Decoichis, the Jars. There's a lot of really good flip effects, and getting through those with Blade Knight is really, really big. And like I said, it's a light, which is very relevant. Into the other warriors, we have DD Warrior Lady, we have the 2 defense guys, the Sasuke and level 2, and then Exiled Force and Danzalug. So these are our toolbox warrior cards. We play the double Rhoda, so you have all these available, pretty frequently. They're pretty good. These are also searchable lights, and this is a searchable dark, which is really relevant. But all of these monsters are really powerful on their own. So Warrior Lady and Exiled Force are essentially just removal, but Warrior Lady is also just good in the sense of being itself. It's removal. It's also a 1500 normal summon along a light body. It's really good. These clear set monsters or just defense monsters in general. This kills a set immediately, and this kills a face-up defense position monster immediately. Good for getting through spies. Good for getting through just a plethora of defense position monsters. Your opponent summons like a BLS, a defense position, so they don't get blown out by a mirror force. You summon this, you kill it, which is really good. So a lot of good things there. And then Danzalug, this is a really important card in the deck. It's a searchable dark with Rhoda first off, which is a really big deal. But it's also 14. It's pitch, which is really good. You can actually mill 2 with this as well, which probably won't come up, but maybe can. I mean, if you get into that grindy of a grind game and you win by deck out, it's possible. I've never done it, but it's possible, I guess. But yeah, just pitching 1, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. When you do this, it's really, really good. Play Nox and, defense position guys. We play Sakura to armor. Minimize the cards on your opponent's field and then summon this into a blank field. Swing, pitch, it's good. It's also a searchable dark, like I was saying. Anyway, that's it for the Warrior Engine. Into the actual other monsters. So this is a very anti-meta build. We're playing the Trap Dust Shoots in the main, the Kaikus in the main. So Triple Kaiku. It's a dark, which is really good. It's really good against the Chaos deck. It's good against the Earth Aggro deck. It's a really, really powerful normal summon. 18 is really big too. And getting rid of things like Sinister Serpent or Lights and Darks can be really, really big. And just restricting your opponent from the Chaos Engine is really, really good on a normal summon. Backing this up with some good back row, this card can prove to be incredibly hard to deal with. And this plus a Sakura to armor against the Earth Aggro deck, they have a really, really hard time beating this guy. So without smash and ground, it can prove quite difficult. So that's the Kaikus, and then I played 1 Skill Dark Magician and 1 Breaker. They're good dark normal summons. This guy's big. It gets over Kaiku if you need to summon a Chaos guy. A lot of people are playing big counts of this card. I'm only playing the 1 in the main right now because I really like the triple Kaiku, and I felt like this was a pretty sufficient amount of darks, but maybe upping this to 2 could be potentially good as well. But yeah, I also love Breaker. Those cards are just really powerful. Next, I played the 1 Tribe. I'm not playing Sinister, actually, interestingly enough, but Tribe Infecting gets through all goats, which is really good. It climbs those big chaos monsters that we might not be able to climb. It's just a good card. I like playing it. It's insane. Then for the Chaos Engine, I'm just playing 1 BLX and 1 Chaos Sorcerer. I do want to play more Chaos Sorcerer, but they prove to be kind of clunky sometimes in testing, so just playing 1/1, I think, is pretty sufficient in the format. And these cards are incredibly high impact. When they come down, you get rid of its removal, but it's also on a huge monster. So these cards are just incredibly strong. But they do definitely contribute to bricking. So playing 2, it felt pretty good. Sufficient to say the least. Next, we played Double Rhoda. It's the main card, one of the main cards of the deck. It lets us access our huge warrior engine. These cards can be removal. It can be a big guy. It can be a light or a dark. It can be pitch. It can be hand removal. It can be a lot of different things. So Rhoda is an incredibly good card. Next, I played Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, and Delinquent Duo cards. Of course, we're going to play this in its GOAT format. Of course, we're going to play these cards. And then next, I played Snatch and Premature. Once again, just one of powerful spells that the deck will play. Of course, we're going to play them. It's GOAT formats. What are you going to not play those cards? Heavy Storm, MST. The both at one's the only back row removal really accessible in the deck, except like Dust Tornado, which we side. And these cards they're good. Then I played 2 knock. Getting rid of all these set monsters is really good. Of course, we play the Triple Blade Knight, but and the other warriors that do that, the Sasuke and the level 2, or the level 2, I guess, not Sasuke, but cross out. Knock just does a lot of work, right? You knock them and then summon Danzalug, swing, pitch 2, pitch 1, get rid of the monster, deal some damage. It's really big. So Knock's just good in the deck, and if it's bad, decide it out. It's not a big deal. Next, for the traps, that was all the spells. I'm playing the Triple Trap Dust Shoot in the main. This is really powerful in the anti-meta variant. We're playing, the Chaos Source, or the Kaikus. This is really the bread and butter of the anti-meta engine. The Triple Kaiku, Triple Trap Dust Shoot. It's really, really powerful. We play a lot of traps to back this up. And trap dust shooting your opponent's only play is really, really good. And then your traps just deal with any other play that they can possibly do. And yeah, as long as you have a flow of monsters and you use your back row correctly, this deck can be incredibly strong. So triple trap dust shoot in the main is pretty good. You can side it out if you're going second, game 2 and 3. But the card still is pretty good going second sometimes. But if they go for a T set pass and then you trap dust shoot them, it's really, really good. It limits their options incredibly, but I'd probably side them out going second a lot of the time. Next, we play Triple Judgment. This card's incredibly strong in the main. Triple Judgment in GOAT format. I think the majority of GOAT format decks should be playing Triple Judgment, and I think it's really good, especially in this deck with a lot of traps. You want to be able to make sure you have this for Heavy Storm, which is really, really good. Book of Moon's another really good card in this deck that I want to play. I don't know, that was a side tangent, but yeah, Judgment's really good. Protect your normal summon, or protect your monsters. You can also just 1-for-1 any normal summon in the game with Judgment. You can stop BLS, the Chaos Sorcerer plays. It's really good. Stop Torrential, Mirror Force. This card's insane. It's Solemn Judgment. This card's insane. Next, I played Triple Sakuretsu Armor. Like I said, this is a pretty big deal for the deck, especially protecting Kaiku in matchups like Earth Aggro and stuff like that. Keeping their normal summon away, and then they clunk up on the big, drops that they can't summon off Kaiku while Kaiku's on the field. So that's really good. Sakuretsu's Armor is really good against big guys. And the card's really, really good. Spot removal is really powerful. Next, we played the one of traps that are all in one. Really good cards. Call of the Haunted, Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, and Ring of Destruction. I mean, it's a trap deck. We're playing all these good traps, or all these 3-of traps. Of course, we're going to play all the good 1-of traps, so it just makes sense. So, we're playing all of these cards. Into the side deck, I played the good the good warriors that you can search off Rhoda. So I'm playing one Zymbira. This climbs Kaiku in the mirror, which is good, but it's also just a tall guy in the mirror. It climbs Blade Knight, which can be good. A good searchable. It's also a Dark Loot, which is searchable. It's very good. Then we played Cliff, the Trap Remover. This card is actually insanely good in the deck. Being able to pop it back row with, essentially Danzalug's effect, but popping back row instead. Cliff, the Trap Remover can be a really annoying monster to deal with. Doing this, Sakuretsu Armor, they can't play monsters, they can't play back row. It's a pretty good, a strong normal summon. Then next I played Double Smash and Ground. I think this card's really strong. Bringing up Kaiku once again. You don't want your Chaos guys to be locked at the end of the game, as they're, a big push and just high impact cards. So having Smash and Ground to get rid of a lot of meaningful cards is very, very strong. Outing back row can be a problem for this deck sometimes, so I'm siding double Mobius and double Dust Tornado. Siding a lot of cards for back row, but I think it's pretty fair to do that. All these cards are really good. And also, I didn't have a second one, but another card that we are going to be siding a second of is the Sasuke. This card is a really strong... It's another searchable light, which can be good, but it's also just good against those face-up defense position monsters. We can also side a second one of these instead if you want more set monster removal. Both are good options. Then I played triple Book of Moon in the side. Book of Moon is just a good card, right? And it gets rid of Thousand Eyes, which is good. If we're going second, having an option to change out some traps for these could be good as well, just so you can react upon your opponent. And then triple Scapegoat for the mostly for the Reasoning Gate deck. The deck just hits you with a Giant Tornado or a Heavy Storm and then kills you. So having a Scapegoat to chain that to that is really, really big, especially since we don't get the Chaos Engine going immediately, so we can't just wall up with Dimension Fusion all the time. So having these is just really, really powerful for that matchup sometimes. Anyway, that's about it for the deck profile. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Makes a really big difference. Join the Discord. Big things happening in the Discord, so join the Discord, link in the description, of course. Have a good week. Goodbye.